How to breathe a full yogic breath. To start yogic breathing, it is beneficial to be quite familiar with simple abdominal breathing, as this would be your starting point. The following 3 phases will reference the 3 regions of breath, as discussed earlier. If you are only just starting out, it is probably best to familiarize yourself with one phase at a time and keep practicing it until it becomes effortless, before proceeding to the next phase. If you are completely new to breathing techniques, you might want to stick to inhale, phase 1 and exhale, phase 1, which are just the extensions of simple abdominal breathing. As you become more experienced, you could practice inhale, phase 1, followed directly by inhale, phase 2, then exhale, phase 1 followed by exhale, phase 2. If completing the 2 phases for inhaling and exhaling does not appear to be challenging anymore, you can proceed with inhale, phase 1, inhale dash, phase 2 and inhale, phase 3, then exhale, phase 1, exhale, phase 2 and exhale, phase 3, in this exact order, making the 3 phases of inhalation into one long inhale and the 3 phases of exhalation into one long and complete exhale. Connecting the 3 phases of inhalation and 3 phases of exhalation into one breath will make it one true full yogic breathing. While any of the partial phases or steps involved could be practiced alone or in sequence as separate breathing techniques, those could already be considered advanced yogic breathing methods. As far as full yogic breathing is concerned, they should be treated as preparatory steps, before you can connect them all up into one full yogic breath. Full yogic breathing can become surprisingly challenging, as you will be using muscles you have probably not been actively using for many years. Please be aware that practicing yogic breathing, especially for the first few occasions, will possibly cause some lightheadedness, and probably dizziness. This is due to your blood oversaturating with previously unknown amounts of oxygen. Although it is perfectly natural, you should stop practicing when such sensations occur and let your body gradually get used to the new oxygen levels introduced. You should remember, as always, not to rush anything. Inhale, phase 1. You should either sit comfortably, or stand up, with your spine fully erect, nothing compressing your belly or chest. Wear loose-fitting clothes, no tight parts. Exhale as fully as you can, then start breathing slowly and deeply into your abdomen. Do not attempt to consciously inhale, rather just expand your abdominal wall, but instead of simply letting it protrude forward, control the way it expands. First, the lowest part should come forth, gradually coming up, like a wave, higher and higher, filling the lower part of your lung deeper and deeper with air. In the meantime, keep your chest as low as possible. Do not let your ribcage lift. Keep this deep breath abdominal only. If you are familiar with full abdominal breathing, you can add those additional corners of focus, although this is not strictly necessary. Such wave-like motion of your abdominal wall will in and of itself provide your internal organs with a gentle massage. Inhale, phase 2. Once your diaphragm has fully contracted, and your belly has been pushed forward as much as possible, when you feel you cannot breathe any more into your abdomen, continue inhaling, but now by expanding your chest towards the sides. Concentrate now on this sideways movement, until you feel that your chest cannot expand any further. When you once again feel that your lungs are full, start lifting your chest and moving your sternum, the chest bone, outwards and slightly up. It may be surprising how much extra capacity there still was to continue breathing. While expanding your chest, it is important not to let your belly collapse, keep it pushed out as far as possible. Eventually your chest will expand to such extent that it comes right above your abdominal wall once again. If you now try breathing into your chest and put your hands on the sides of your ribcage, you will notice that your chest does not only protract forward, but it keeps expanding to the sides, possibly even further than you would have thought it possible. This will be very similar to the bad breathing habit discussed earlier. It is important to understand, there is no such way as bad breathing. All parts of your lungs are equally important. There are only bad habits, and an inappropriate use of your breathing. As you incorporate the midsection of your lungs into the full yogic breath, you may see and experience how this particular area was intended to be used in breathing, by nature. Inhale, phase 3. Phases 1 and 2 would be immediately available for many people, yet you should only proceed to phase 3, when you are really familiar with the above steps and can breathe into the previous 2 regions without difficulty, maintaining an even and controlled breath. Until such time, please proceed with exhale, phase 1. When your chest has been expanded both sideways and upwards to its maximum, start lifting your shoulders, all the way up to your ears. This should further stretch your lungs, pulling up the upper corners that are so rarely used in your daily life. Attempt to inhale through this process. Do not worry if you feel your lungs are full, and you cannot inhale any further, just keep pulling your shoulders up while holding your throat open, just like when you inhale. Some air might eventually start flowing through with practice, whether you are aware of it or not. As you get more experienced, you will not need to lift your shoulders that high, as you will feel exactly how much movement is necessary to fill the top section of your lungs fully. Until you have such awareness, it is best to lift your shoulders as high as you can. Remember, the tissues of this upper part of your lungs have been probably dormant and dysfunctional for years. It takes time and dedicated practice to repair and rebuild them, with fully working lung tissues. Your body's recovery abilities are wonderful. If you practice regularly, with time you will be able to reclaim these forgotten corners of your breath, eventually enabling you to breathe a full yogic inhale. Exhale, Phase 1. Once you reached your apparent maximum lung capacity, regardless of which phase of inhalation you have reached, you may pause your breath. There are several ways to pace your breathing, its rhythm can depend on many factors. For learning purposes, pause only for a couple of seconds or heartbeats, and observe the sensation of your lungs being fully expanded. This will be important later, as you practice, as you will have a way of comparison, so that you may track your progress, observing how your lung capacity becomes greater. When you become more experienced, you will probably notice how the natural urge to inhale and exhale slows down. As your blood saturates with oxygen, you need to breathe less frequently, which is quite normal when you practice full yogic breathing. If this occurs, feel free to follow your body's intuition and breathe in the rhythm your body dictates. You will now exhale, also from bottom to top. Though some may advise an opposite direction, exhaling from top to bottom, in traditional yogic practice the bottom to top progression seems more usual, as well as it will probably feel more natural to visualize, as you would not have to circulate air through regions that you have previously emptied. Also, until you are able to breathe a full yogic breath, this is the easiest way you can proceed, as you can only exhale from regions you have previously inhaled into and there will be no confusion. About the order. Contract your abdominal region, starting from the bottom of your belly, squeezing and withdrawing in from bottom to top in a wave-like motion, similarly to what you have done for the inhale phase, only now you would be drawing it inwards this way. Keep your chest expanded all this time, and your shoulders drawn up, if you have gone through the second and third phases of inhalation. As you contract a lower part, keep it drawn in as you proceed upwards. Eventually the whole abdomen would be withdrawn, forcing the air from the lower part of your lungs to rush out. Exhale, Phase 2. When you can no longer squeeze and withdraw your abdomen further, start compressing the chest, from the sides, as you have expanded them for the second phase of inhalation, keeping your belly squeezed and drawn in, sternum remaining up and forward. Once you can no longer contract the sides of your chest, start lowering the sternum, compressing the chest even further. The exhalation should proceed smoothly, until you have fully compressed your chest, while keeping the belly withdrawn. You should still keep your shoulders high, if you have previously proceeded to inhale into that last region. Inhale, Phase 3. Exhale, Phase 3. Only proceed if you have gone through inhale, Phase 3. If you have not yet attempted that stage, please continue with inhale, Phase 1. Then keep on practicing the first two phases of inhalations and exhalations until you are ready to proceed inhaling into that last region. Start lowering your shoulders, pushing them as low as possible, keeping your chest collapsed and tight, belly withdrawn. This will squeeze the top part of your lungs once again, completing the process of the exhalation. When your shoulders reach their lowest, slightly hunch your back, stooping forwards a little and try to push your arms down. This will squeeze your chest and with it your lungs even further, forcing some more air out. If you can, stoop forward even further, rounding your back and almost curling up into a ball, while observing how some additional air could still be squeezed out. Such hunching and curling up is only essential through the learning process, as it will aid your understanding of the exhalation greatly, while also aiding the exhalation itself, until your other helper muscles will become sufficiently strong to squeeze your lungs to the maximum. When you have mastered all phases of inhalation and exhalation, you can omit curling your body up, as your lungs and the muscles that help breathing will have learned how to function most efficiently. If you did curl your body up, and are ready to come back to the inhale, phase 1, you have 2 ways to proceed. You could first straighten up your torso, consciously trying not to inhale. You will feel somewhat of a vacuum being created in your chest. This vacuum will have some additional benefits of training the tissues around your lungs. Only start inhaling when you are fully erect. Alternatively, you could incorporate straightening your body out gradually as you go through the 3 phases of inhalation. This might prove more challenging, but it would certainly aid your focus on the breath and provide a great physiological help to expanding your lungs the right way and going through the 3 phases in the right order. Repeat the desired phases of inhalation and exhalation as long or short as you see fit. Practicing for a few minutes each day should be sufficient, but feel free to take additional practice sessions any time of the day you feel. Soon your techniques should become smooth and much easier to follow. Your muscles around the chest and your lungs will adapt, gaining capacity and begin working much more effectively. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe.